Have you ever felt like your love was being used against you? Like no matter how much you give, it's never enough, but somehow you can't seem to walk away. If you've ever found yourself questioning your worth or feeling emotionally drained, it's time to understand the hidden tactics that narcissists use to control your love and your life. In today's video, we're diving deep into how narcissists use your love for them as the ultimate tool for manipulation. If you're trapped in a cycle of love, guilt, and confusion, keep watching. It's time to break free and take back control of your emotional well-being. The power of love as leverage. Narcissists have a unique ability to twist your love and affection into a powerful tool for control. They make you feel like your devotion is the very thing that keeps the relationship alive, constantly pushing you to prove your worth through your actions, your time, and your emotions. In this dynamic, they subtly shift the responsibility onto you, creating a sense of guilt or obligation whenever you question the relationship. You start to believe that if you just loved harder or gave more, everything would be better. But here's the thing, this isn't about love. It's about control. The more you give, the more they take, and you begin to lose sight of your own needs and identity. It's not just love, it becomes a way to manipulate you into staying in the cycle, unsure of where their desires end and yours begin. They convince you that any pushback is a sign of not caring enough, making you feel like the one who's wrong for wanting more respect, more fairness, more love, all the while they're subtly reinforcing their power over you. Recognizing this dynamic is the first step towards reclaiming your emotional freedom. Don't let them make you believe that your love is something they can manipulate. Love should never feel like a burden. It should be a choice one you control, not one that controls you. Love as a reward. In the world of narcissists, love becomes a tool of control and unpredictable reward that you can never truly earn, no matter how much you give. When you behave in ways that satisfy their needs or desires, they'll shower you with affection, praise, or attention, making you feel special, needed, and loved. But the moment you stop catering to their whims or begin prioritizing yourself, that love can vanish in an instant. It's as if your very worth and value are tied to how well you serve them. This creates a toxic pattern where your love and affection are given as rewards, only to be taken away as punishment when they feel like you're not fulfilling their expectations. You begin to walk on eggshells, unsure of what will trigger their approval or disapproval, constantly striving for their love but never quite feeling secure in it. The emotional highs when they do shower you with affection feel like a drug, and the lows when they withhold it leave you questioning your worth, doubting yourself, and feeling empty. But this isn't real love, it's manipulation. They want you to chase them, to prove your love over and over, creating a never-ending cycle of emotional highs and lows. Recognizing this pattern is vital. Love shouldn't be a transaction, it should be given freely, without conditions or strings attached. When you break free from this cycle, you open the door to true love, one that isn't based on approval or fear, but on mutual respect and understanding. Gaslighting and emotional manipulation. One of the most insidious tools narcissists use to maintain control is gaslighting. This psychological manipulation twists your perception of reality, leaving you questioning your own thoughts, emotions, and experiences. It's subtle at first, maybe just a small comment or suggestion that something you said or felt wasn't quite right, but over time, the gaslighting becomes more intense, making you doubt your memories, feelings, and even your sanity. A narcissist might deny things they've said or done, insist they never hurt you, or claim you're overreacting when you express your hurt. Eventually, you begin to internalize these doubts, thinking, maybe I am too sensitive, or maybe I misunderstood. This constant confusion makes you more dependent on their version of reality, their approval and validation. The narcissist knows this, of course. They manipulate your emotions, making you feel insecure and unsure of yourself, which makes you more likely to seek out their affection or approval. They make you feel like you need them to feel whole, convincing you that without their love, you're incomplete or flawed. This creates a dangerous cycle where you constantly seek their validation, hoping to feel good about yourself, but never quite achieving that sense of stability. Gaslighting isn't just about lying, it's about making you feel small, making you question everything you know to be true, all in the name of maintaining control. Recognizing it is the first step in breaking free from its grip and regaining control of your own reality, making you feel guilty. Narcissists are experts at playing on your emotions to get what they want, and one of their most powerful tactics is guilt tripping. They subtly imply that their love for you is conditional. If you really loved me, you'd do this for me, or I've done so much for you, and this is how you repay me. They make you feel like you're not enough, like you're failing them in some way, even when you're doing your best. The guilt they impose can be overwhelming. You begin to feel like you're walking on eggshells, constantly worried about their reaction, constantly questioning whether you're doing enough to meet their unspoken demands. They twist your emotions to make you feel like you're the one at fault. even when they're the ones taking advantage of you. This tactic often leaves you drained, feeling as though you're never able to fully satisfy their needs no matter how hard you try. You start believing that your worth is tied to how much you can give them or how much you can sacrifice. The deeper you fall into this cycle, the more you lose sight of your own needs, desires, and boundaries. The narcissist's love is not a gift, it's a transaction, a weapon to keep you emotionally tethered to them. You're left with the guilt of feeling like you're never doing enough, making you more likely to bend to their will, just to avoid the emotional fallout. But remember, their manipulation is not about love, it's about control. Love is a tool for dependency. One of the most insidious tactics narcissists use is creating an emotional dependency by convincing you that their love is your lifeline. They make you believe that without their approval or affection, you're nothing. Slowly, over time, their love becomes the one thing you crave, the one thing you feel you can't live without. They tell you how lucky you are to have them, how much they've done for you, and how you're not the same without them. It's not just flattery, it's manipulation. They make you doubt your own self-worth, feeding you the narrative that you're incomplete without their validation. At first, it might feel flattering. They may shower you with attention, making you feel special and cherished, but as time goes on, the strings tighten, the praise becomes conditional. You begin to chase after their approval, doing whatever it takes to win their love, yet the more you try, the more distant they become. This creates a cycle of dependency. You feel emotionally tethered to them, unable to trust your own instincts or make decisions without seeking their approval first. You start to lose sight of who you are, bending over backwards to keep them happy, even at the expense of your own happiness. You start to believe that your emotional well-being is tied to them when in reality you are feeding their need for control. In the end, you're not just seeking love, you're seeking their validation, and that's exactly what they want. To keep you dependent, forever relying on them for your sense of self-worth. Isolating you from others. Narcissists know that the more isolated you are, the more control they have over you. And one of the most effective ways they achieve this is by using your love for them as a tool to keep you from seeking support or validation from anyone else. They subtly or not so subtly encourage you to distance yourself from family, friends, and other important relationships. At first, they might frame it as we're better off alone, convincing you that others don't understand your relationship or that they're just jealous of your bond. They'll play on your emotions, making you feel like your connection with them is special, unlike anything else you've experienced. This creates a sense of exclusivity, where their love becomes the most important thing in your life and everyone else becomes secondary. They might also criticize your loved ones, subtly planting seeds of doubt about their intentions, painting them as unsupportive, jealous, or even toxic. Before long, you find yourself doubting the very people who have always had your back while turning to the narcissist for emotional support. But it's never enough. As the isolation grows, so does the narcissist's control. They become your sole source of emotional fulfillment. You begin to rely on them for everything: guidance, affection, approval. And as your support system shrinks, your sense of self begins to fade, leaving only their version of reality. The more isolated you become, the harder it is to break free. You're trapped in a web of emotional dependency, and the narcissist holds the strings, creating a false sense of security. Narcissists are experts at creating emotional roller coasters, and they know exactly how to keep you hooked. One of their most effective tactics is providing just enough love and affection at the perfect moments to make you believe that the relationship is worth fighting for. They'll shower you with love and attention when they sense you're pulling away or when they feel like they're losing control. These bursts of affection can feel like a lifeline, making you believe that this is the love you've been searching for. You might feel cherished, valued, and wanted maybe even more than you ever have in your life. In these moments, it feels real. But soon after, the warmth fades and the narcissist pulls back. This push and pull dynamic is exhausting but deeply addictive. The sudden affection and the moments of closeness make you feel like things are getting better, but the highs are always followed by devastating lows. When the narcissist withdraws, you're left confused, questioning what went wrong. Did you do something to deserve their distance? Maybe if you just act a little better, do things their way, the love will return. This cycle creates a false sense of security. You begin to convince yourself that if you can just endure the lows long enough, the highs will come back again. You chase that fleeting affection, believing that the next time will be different, that this time they will truly love you the way you deserve. In reality, it's all part of their control game. They give you just enough to keep you wanting more, reinforcing your emotional dependency. And before you know it, you're trapped in a toxic cycle, constantly trying to prove your worth in exchange for the love that is never truly unconditional. The long-term impact. The cycle of love manipulation isn't just emotionally draining in the short term, it slowly erodes your sense of self over time. In the beginning, it might feel like the relationship has promise and you're willing to give your all. But as the narcissist continues to pull you in with just enough affection to keep you hooked, you begin to lose yourself in the process. Constantly walking on eggshells, trying to avoid triggering their anger or disappointment becomes your reality. Every action, every word is carefully thought through, as you fear that the slightest misstep could result in their withdrawal of affection or worse, emotional punishment. It's a form of emotional exhaustion that sneaks up on you. You're constantly looking for ways to keep their love and approval, but it feels like no matter what you do, it's never quite enough. Over time, this relentless cycle leads to feelings of unworthiness. You begin to internalize the idea that their love is conditional and that it depends entirely on how well you can meet their needs. The validation you once sought from within starts to come only from them. You start to feel disconnected from who you once were, unsure of your own desires, values, and needs because you've been so focused on pleasing them. You lose sight of your own identity. The person you used to be, with your own passions, interests, and goals, seems to fade away in favor of someone who is constantly adjusting, contorting, and changing to fit the narcissist's needs. The emotional exhaustion from the constant emotional highs and lows takes a toll, leaving you depleted, confused, and drained of the energy it takes to care for yourself. In the end, you're left asking, who am I without them? But the truth is, you deserve so much more than to lose yourself in a relationship that thrives on control and manipulation. If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle of emotional manipulation, it's time to take back control of your life. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine love, not one where you're left questioning your worth or constantly trying to please someone else. Take a moment today to reflect on your relationships. Are they empowering you or are they draining you? If you've been manipulated, know that healing is possible, and it starts with acknowledging your worth. Don't let anyone control your sense of self. Subscribe to our channel for more content on recognizing toxic patterns, healing from past wounds, and reclaiming your emotional freedom. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who might need this message today. You are not alone in this journey. Take the first step toward healing and rediscovery now.